Welcome to LARP Academia. Today we're going to go over the level 4 monsters, and we're going to go over kind of more their power basis rather than roleplay, since anyone can make even a not so roleplay interesting monster pretty good, and that's more dependent on the person. We're going to talk about what you get as a monster and classify it based on that. If you are wondering what the classification is, look at the monster level 1 video in the description down below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ding that notification bell so that you can stay notified. Now, on to the level 4 monsters. The first Amp-Gard level 4 monster that you get to choose from is the Centaur. Now, the Centaur is an interesting combination. It's where they try to combine Scout and Archer together, and in doing so, it's somewhat easy to garb up for, and you are able to get 2 points of worn armor, not natural, I know, you have to actually get armor, so it's not as good, and you can wield swords, longs, and bows. Now, the reason why bows are extremely important is because you are able to shoot arrows from them. You are able to shoot destruction arrows and, well, destruction, poison, choose 2 of the 3 basic arrows that archers are able to choose from. That's really it, that and reload. Not much else with the archer portion, but with the scout portion, you were able to get a few other things like tracking and heal, and you also have many-legged, as well as an immunity and being enchantable with a tune like a scout would, but it's kind of it. Now, it is a bit versatile, which is good, and it's not very good in what it's intended to do. You have to wear worn armor like an archer would. You get a heal kind of like a scout, but you get some specialty arrows, so just hope your bow doesn't get hit. It's not terrible as far as monsters go, but it's definitely not great. It's a, you can choose it if you want. It's not too good, not too bad. It's just right. The next monster option that you will have is the Entangling Mash. Now you just slap some mud on a person, get some leaves on them, and then make sure the leaves stick to the mud, and then they're garbed up for Entangling Mash. Extremely easy, extremely fun, and you can only wield natural short swords, but you get 5 points of freaking natural armor. It's amazing. 5 points of armor, but it comes with a problem. You see, any armor that is usually above 4 is amorphous. That means if I am hit anywhere, it takes away a section, and it goes straight to my torso. So let's say that I was hit in the arm 6 times. I am dead. Even though I have 5 points of armor, if I'm hit in the arm 6 times, I am dead. If I'm hitting the arm and chest, well, that's 2 of my armor gone, and you're getting the idea. Amorphous is not the greatest. And an extra to this is that it is slow. So while we have discussed that in slow, you can kind of just run as fast as you, well, not entirely run as fast as other people can run, but it's not as much of a negative for slow. It's just keeping 1 foot on the ground, and people have perfected an art where they can go back and forth and zigzag and push off the other foot, and it's not too bad, honestly. But when you consider all that you get is, yeah, some immunities, some weird altered effects, berserk, entangle, and hold in order to keep that person there to mitigate your slow problems, well, you just don't have much. Let's say you get up to them, cool, I have 5 points of armor. Like, okay, you have 5 points of armor, that's really good, but at the same point, if a warrior has a shield, they're probably already doing a little bit better than you. And when you get up to them, you have berserk, but you don't have anything to get around shields. A lot of people can fight you and just peg you from afar. There's a lot of problems with Entangling Mash, which is why it's not the best in the world. It is still really good at what it does when it goes up and just come here and die. And it's versatile because it can slow other people, but it's not the best in the world. Now, the Gargoyle kind of fits into this as well. They're easy to garb up for. They're going to go with the staple of level 4, which is 2 points of natural armor and natural short swords, nothing else. And they do have some immunities, the ability to go into flight and stone form and run away, but what does make them nice is they do have thick skin, so that their armor is a little bit better, and you can get through non-hardened shields. So with bear strength, it is kind of alright, but that's where the benefits end as a gargoyle. You can kind of get away, but you want to fight, and when you fight, you have thick skin, and that's kind of it, along with 2 natural shorts. It's not the best monster in the world. It's not terrible, not by any means. There are far worse monster options out there, but as far as mechanics go, it's all right. It's not good, it's not bad, it's meh. Now, the Fire Giant. Oh, giants are, they're great. Now, the reason why the Fire Giant is so good, let me just explain the kit. All right, you have 3 points of armor, 3 points of natural armor, pretty good already. You have medium shields. Hey, I actually have a shield this time, that's awesome. And I have all melee options. Pretty good options, I'm liking this. But what does my kit do? Well, it gives me Flame Blade, enemy into flame, which is kind of redundant since Flame Blade already does that for you and your weapons, but I guess they needed to put that in there for people who don't understand a Flame Blade. You have Flame Blade, which makes you have armor breaking, shield crushing. You have thick skin, so that your armor is, well, it's basically ancestral in melee. And you also have Fireball. Now, you also have large, so you can bat things out of the sky, but Fireball is what really draws people to a fire giant. Because think of this, you go and you're gonna fight someone. You're on an even footing, you already have way better than armor them because 1, you have natural armor, 2, it's thick-skinned armor, so you fight against a barbarian who has 3 points, you say, ha, you have to hit me 4 times, I have to hit you twice. And they go, oh crap, we don't want to fight that. Even if you face a warrior, this is your problem. You face a warrior, they have a hardened shield and they say, oh, I have plate mail on, because hypothetically a warrior would want that. So they have plate mail on, and you say, you know, this isn't entirely in my advantageous position, so I have a fireball to destroy your shield, make you probably only have 1 weapon, and then I'm going to kill you that way. Or I'm going to start killing people from afar. The fireball alone is what makes Fire Giant so good, in addition to everything else that they have, which is just, they're meant to be this bruiser who is better than any melee class in melee, and they are. They really are. If you put someone against a Fire Giant, they'll just go, ah, crap, we don't want to fight that, because a Fire Giant is so good. Scalable, powerful, easy to garb up for, so everything. It's everything. It is awesome. Now, the cousin of the Fire Giant, the one that's not picked as much, is the Frost Giant. Now, the Frost Giant is immune to Subdual. That does not mean they are immune to Frozen. Icy Blast is the funnest thing in the world. Freezing a Frost Giant is pretty hilarious. But while they are immune to Subdual, instead of having a Fireball, they have Ice Balls. And they have Shatter in order to go along with it to kill people. And their differences really end there, because while they don't have Flame Blade, they have Strong, and they're also large, and they have natural armor. Well, they have thick skin with their natural armor, and they have the same natural armor, the same weapons, and the same shield. They're pretty much the same except for those key points, which is immunity to Subdual instead of Flame, and that they have Ice Ball and Shatter instead of Fireball. Now, people pick the Fire Giant because, well, destroying the shield, killing people from afar, really fun, really broken, really awesome. The Frost Giant, if I face a warrior, I'll have to fight normally, I have to fight fair, or I could just freeze them with an Ice Ball and then move on. And then I could Shatter them, which is a charge times 10. Not the best in the world, but I could still make some use out of that. Using Ice Ball correctly is a bit harder. You are more versatile as a Frost Giant. I would even say that a Frost Giant is possibly better than a Fire Giant. But just that idea of killing someone with a Fireball is so much better for most people, which is why they choose that Fire Giant instead of a Frost Giant. And even though you do have Shatter and it is chargeable to kill someone, it's more about controlling the field. And the idea that you can be frozen as a Frost Giant is really annoying, while you can't be killed by flame as a Fire Giant, which makes more sense. So a Frost Giant is good, possibly better than a Fire Giant, or at least just as good. And both giant options are just ridiculously powerful to choose from. Now the Hellhound is, it's interesting, as I guess the best way I could put it. There's 1 point of natural invul, and it lets you wield shorts as naturals, what we freaking do. But its abilities are varied. I mean, you have a lot of immunities, many-legged, Flame Blade, and Fireball, so you're kind of like a Fire Giant, but you have the alternate effects, and at any time you can be made lost by a level 1 spell that's per life for people, so it's kind of annoying. And in addition to this, you only have 1 point of net invul, you don't have a medium shield, you don't have anything that the Fire Giant has, and you're trying to be like the Fire Giant. You're the puppy of the Fire Giant. You're not very good. And it kind of reflects that. You're not as good as a Fire Giant. You're not terrible. I mean, they are an interesting monster to play and can be good on a bigger battlefield, but they're not great. They don't do what they're intended to do, except be a little mini Fire Giant with more immunities. So if you have a Hellhound with a Fire Giant, yeah, that Hellhound probably would be great just trying to bat away things from the Fire Giant. So it does have a place. It's just not the strongest monster out there. Now the Lair Guardian is an attempt at making a Lair Guardian is the best way I could put it. They give the Lair Guardian 2 points of natural ancestral, and you are able to use shorts, naturals, and a bow, but the problem arises when you're trying to use that bow. See, you can only use destruction arrows, and you can't use anything else. So you just say, hi, shoot you, and now I have to charge ×3 since I can't use any other arrows. So the bow already is really bad. They also have a lot of weird altered effects, and they're slow, so they can't really go into melee that well. But strangely enough, the Lair Guardian's best in melee. They have 2 points of natural armor, they have short swords that are natural, and they don't have to charge in between every freaking shot. Now, while they do have immunities, it's just, they're meant to stand in the lair, shoot people, and then attack them when they get close. They fail on the first front, which is going to be the majority of the game. And on the second front, they're okay, I guess. Not the best in the world. I mean, already our fire giant's way better, so it's like they tried to do too much and it didn't work out. And that's the sad story of the Lair Guardian. An interesting attempt, but not very well done. Now, the giant spider is what a lot of assassins kind of want to be, mainly because they get 2 points of natural armor, and their weapon choices aren't as good as an assassin, and garbing up for them can be kind of annoying, but the 2 points of natural armor are important. The unlimited poison is also nice. The Steal Life Unlimited is really good since you're able to recharge it. And while you don't have immunities, you do have release at 2 per life, hold person so you can hold other people, and many-legged so that you can block or kick whatever those spell balls. Again, don't kick spell balls. I mean, it's not recommended, although it's very fun. But you shouldn't kick spell balls. However, many-legged's pretty nice in order to keep you alive. And spiders are just very fun and interesting. They don't have the escape mechanics that assassins do. They're not quite better than assassin, maybe. I mean, the Steal Life and natural armor is a very awesome combo. But the spiders are a good monster. They're a good option. Not the best option. Not just you look at it and go, what? But they're a pretty good option. So if you are thinking about that, I would highly recommend to consider a giant spider. Now with that has been all the Amtgard level 4 monsters. I would be interested to hear what your thoughts are on them. Are there any monsters that you think should be higher? Are there any that should be lower? That obviously the fire giant's trash or whatever else. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I would also love to hear what is your favorite monster. Now before I go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Until next time, have a great day and keep LARPing.